Welcome back, everyone.
Afternoon, friends.
Joe here.
Kevin.
I loved last week's episode focusing on Josh and Santos.
I did too. We got very little of the regular cast. A few small things, but for the most part, it was those two kicking off the campaign. And I love the fact that we started their campaign at absolute zero. Two of them in a car. Right? Just the two of them driving to a campaign office that's basically a broken down sporting goods store.
And I like the fact that it's seemingly going to be an indication of where the show is headed to, right?
Sure.
We're going to focus a lot outside of the West Wing.
Right.
Obviously in the campaign trail with Josh and Santos. And I like that it wasn't all happy-go-lucky to begin with. There are already speed bumps that we're hitting.
Yeah,
we found out that Santos isn't necessarily fully on board yet, you know?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. It sounds like, and a lot of people do this, you run not because you think you can win, but because you want to raise issues in a loss. You want to push your candidate to the right or the left in the loss.
And it worked. I mean,
yeah, but, Josh, who obviously knows national campaigns more than Santos does,
sure.
Santos isn't an idiot, the whole thing with Josh is on him. Why are you talking education? Well, it worked to force all the other candidates to, out of their comfort zones into having to release education plans way earlier in the process than they expected.
Yeah.
To where now Santos is someone to keep an eye on. Because he's kind of driving some of the conversations.
Yeah.
It's a really smart move that really worked. I feel like these two guys who are coming from completely different backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
Just have to learn how to trust each other
a little
better.
Excited to see that relationship grow too. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Because obviously we've spoken a lot about how we're really excited to see Vinnick on the show.
And I am. I want him back now.
But it kind of seems like the focus is going to be Santos and Josh's relationship as it grows and as he gets him ready,
I think we'll probably do equal time. I feel like this is going to be different than the last campaign, right? Because last campaign we had an incumbent.
I'm expecting to see more of Vinnick than Richie.
Yeah, sure. we saw Richie in 2 episodes. I don't expect that with Alan Alda. I expect to see a lot more of him. I expect there to be the campaigning stuff. I expect there to be debates.
Yeah.
I expect there to be an election. I expect them both to matter, while also, obviously, we're going to keep focusing on the actual administration.
And there'll be weight behind both of them, probably.
Right, for sure.
So that's exciting.
It is. Right. Let us begin. I would like to thank all of the Patreon subscribers who are here with us today and give a special thank you to super patrons: Actuarial Lurker, Balash Foldes, Chris, Coincidence, Derek Peterson, Jamie Morgan, Jeff, Christy Goverston, MJ, Sudagunda Vorapu, Torgir Linkstad, Weird Magic, and WerePanda47. As always, guys, we're really glad you're here with us. Thank you.
We really are. And if you're watching us for the first time on YouTube, welcome to our channel. If you mind hitting the like button for us, please leave us a comment down below and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we have coming your way.
Yeah, subscribe and help us get to the 1 million subscribers mark that we're 992,000 subs away from.
Yeah.
I mean, just,
992,000 of your friends.
Right.
Get them together.
We're right there. If you would like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else that we've watched and we're watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. On every show, including The West Wing, we're at least 4 episodes out on Patreon. If we're on YouTube, on everything on Patreon, you will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. There are copyright laws we must obey, so you will only see and hear us.
Yes.
We've been speaking with Toby Ziegler, author of President Bartlett's final State of the Union address. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Is he here yet?
Any minute.
We sure he's ready for this?
He says he is. He says he has some thoughts he wants to share.
Some thoughts?
Fantastic speech, Toby.
Haley Reid even said it was the president's finest State of the Union.
Yeah, because it's his last.
Yeah, I wonder if that helps,
The largest expansion of the earned income tax credit in more than 6 years.
What's up, Leo?
Yep. Leo's back at the White House.
The way they're shooting this is like a thriller.
Yeah. It's like a big reveal of Leo being there.
Yeah. He always gets the thriller moments.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Like end of season 4 when he's like running.
Good to have you back, Mr. McGarry.
Thanks, Brian.
They're like really showing him coming in. I wonder if this is a big deal that he's here.
Yeah.
Like more so than the other visits.
Sure. Yeah, what's he got planned?
Yeah, he's got a briefcase with him.
We were keeping this low-key, just a couple of us kicking a few ideas around.
This is low-key. Annabeth wanted to bring in the Marine Marching Band.
I really wasn't expecting to have to address the convention, but I can...
Before we get started, we all got you a little something.
Nope, this thing all about to blow up.
I've been thinking, and this might be an excellent time to...
Commander?
Sorry.
No problem. Things we're less pleased about.
The vice president. I should probably.
Yeah, you might want to get to the point, Leo. It's all falling apart.
Can I borrow CJ for a moment?
Yeah, yep. Everybody's leaving.
Sorry. Sure.
It's going to be Leo in an empty room in a minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Demonstration in Bolivia outside our embassy. Big one.
Over the ambassador's statement.
It's being seen as interfering in their election.
I need Charlie.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
The State of the Union was fine.
Excuse me, Leo. Labor Secretary's panicked about his press conference.
I'll be right back.
I better,
Referee,
Sorry.
welcome back.
Actually, just came to get these guys. Situation and juggling some things.
There's nobody left.
Are we done, Mr. McGarry?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And there's the title. Okay.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
I'm sure that's what he's getting at. It's like, here's what we need to do with the last 365 days we have.
Sure. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah,
I want to see the last year in a campaign.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe it'll it can be more hopeful and optimistic based off of what we just saw in real life.
Right.
So, you know.
I assume we're going to have episodes where we like don't even see the campaign guys on the road, like Josh and
I wonder.
Santos.
Because there's so many storylines happening, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to go.
Y'all think we're Northeast Yankee elitists.
And be correct.
Marchville Speedway, you're in for a treat.
See, there are people with most of their teeth that are actual NASCAR fans.
You really a doctor?
Oh my
I didn't
God.
get a close look at your credentials.
So is he well enough to join me?
Pressure vitals are fun, but I'd rather he didn't push himself after last night.
Dang.
He put you up to this.
Maybe he did.
Right.
I'm too sick to go.
Sir, Zelaya's now polling a close second in Bolivia.
Wasn't he fourth?
There's concern about rioting outside our embassy.
We need you to make a statement affirming our impartiality.
I'm not declaring to an indifference that'll provoke international guffaws.
Sir, if Zelaya wins, he's pledged to renationalize their industries. Well, up to now, they've been one of our most cooperative allies in the war on drugs.
Since no one ever wins and it never ends, maybe we should stop calling it a war.
State feels we could tamp things down if you could just walk the ambassador's statement back.
The United States remains neutral in all free elections.
I can probably keep a straight face through that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could go in and join them.
I'll wait.
They should be done any minute.
Seems like he has a lot on his mind, doesn't he?
It probably does, honestly.
President does sometimes. I actually kind of hate it.
You ever tell the president?
Hard to work it in. Oh, don't call me Deb.
You should tell him.
Yeah.
At this
Sorry
point,
about this
you
morning.
have
It
to.
happens.
I got this Bolivia thing.
I understand.
Love to get your perspective on it. This afternoon?
If that's good.
Yeah.
Was that Thomas Paine always there?
I thought that was Nathan Hale. I regret I only have but one life, et cetera, et cetera.
Paine.
Ways and Means has some procedural issues with the earned income tax credit.
10 billions to go, but it's an election year. I'm realistic.
Overwhelming response to the State of the Union.
I blame him.
Wasn't me.
I used to think of it as a way of harvesting even more compliments. Now I understand it's just self-abnegation and clinical despair.
Clinical despair is a good way to describe Toby.
Yeah.
Do the thing with the knocking again in 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Deb. Leo, have I said how great it is having you back?
A few times.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what in Bolivia. Cortland and his big yap.
Wonder why he said it.
He's an idiot.
Have you given some thought to how I might make myself useful? I don't want to undermine CJ.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. President, but President Trenier is holding for you.
How about dinner tonight?
Be great.
I don't care how many times I've said it. It's a great thing you're back.
I know what it is. It just has a dull name.
Earned income tax credit.
Exactly. DULL.
36 million Americans live below the poverty line, which is 1 million more than last year. We blame the Republicans.
Oh, there's a fresh angle.
No government program will do more to lift children out of poverty than the EITC.
Oh, God, I thought the name was dull. The acronym's worse. Marriage penalty. Death tax. Now, that you remember.
Yeah, Republicans are better at branding for sure.
Yeah.
Remember death panels when the Affordable Care Act passed?
Yeah.
It's a look.
Are those the,
I'm still looking for the second inaugural.
Floor's good.
Just found out 8 U.S. contractors are being held at gunpoint in Bolivia. Intel's sketchy, but it looks like it might be by Zelaya supporters. People are gathering down in the sit room if you want.
Oh, I'm sure you can all handle this.
Everyone's just kind of expecting him to step back into his old role.
Yeah, and he's staying out of the way. Good
Yeah.
for him, you know. I didn't expect this to be like a Leo-centric episode.
No, I didn't think we were going to have another one of those again.
Yeah, honestly.
Of great trials, but also tremendous
tremendous opportunities.
He just gets to sit there and do homework, basically. So
he's got something kicking around in his head for sure.
U.S. contractors were ambushed and captured in the Chipari jungle.
How many?
8.
These are paramilitary, sir.
Run for president down there, you get your own private army?
They're claiming the contractors are CIA, sent down to hijack the election.
Are they?
No, sir.
They're part of the coca eradication effort, sir.
They work for the government.
The Bolivian government?
U.S. government.
What are the captors' demands?
That's just it. They haven't made any.
We think this may be an election stunt.
Our guys were there spraying coca fields. We're certain of that?
Not necessarily themselves direct.
I know they may not attach the hose to the nozzle.
it's so weird seeing that room without John Amos and Leo.
Yeah, for sure.
The president took another turn at whack a DCI.
Guy's gotta quit, doesn't he?
God, I hope not. It's too much fun.
Were you at all concerned about our checkered history down there? Allende, the CIA, and Che Guevara?
Yeah, we don't have much credibility. Thank the VP for pitching in on State of the Union follow-through.
About that.
Well?
It's the president's agenda. I don't recall burning much midnight oil discussing what would help us in the primaries.
First lady's gonna be attending a stock car race.
Hell yeah. A colorful regional colloquialism betokening enthusiasm of a visceral, if not rowdy, variety.
He had to explain what hell yeah was.
Yeah.
This is your dream come true. Eliza Doolittle gets to tutor Henry Higgins.
I'll see if I can't find my redneck to snob dictionary.
Right, yeah.
You're offended?
You're implying I'm some kind of hayseed hillbilly hick?
Just teach her some terms, vocabulary. Just make sure we avoid a flyover values disaster.
Sorry?
People in the middle of the country who you fly over when you're trying to get to...
Royal cities?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a gross way to say that, Toby.
It is. Flyover country is kind of a gross phrase.
Man, I get what he's getting at, but
right. Well, more people live in the East Coast to West Coast and live in the Midwest.
What are you watching?
State of the Union.
I remember hearing that last night.
Second year.
Oh.
I like Will a lot. I just wish he wasn't wasting his time with such an idiotic candidate.
I know.
Earned income tax credit is a Democratic issue.
We can probably push it out of committee at $500 million.
Right, the president called for $10 billion.
Fraud prevention, accounting measures. These are families at the bottom rung of the educational ladder. Adding paperwork is just going to confuse them.
It's the Republican Congress. We have to be flexible.
Why does no one ever come in here and say this is a Democratic White House? Maybe we should start reflecting it?
Right.
We don't have the votes.
EITC just dead?
No, Timmy. That's a nice farm out in the country where it can play with other dogs.
Things are too wild. I can always find you later.
Carol's looking for you. Something about the labor secretary threatening to quit.
Leo, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm going to
We'll
have
get
to. Majority leader natural disaster.
Busy day.
Yeah.
So
it's the White House, man.
Yeah.
Every day.
I like that. I like that he's a little out of step.
Yeah.
Can we not do this?
1 week in support of the man who plucked him out of obscurity.
You guys picked him. I wasn't in that room.
You think I was?
They'd be mad at the president, or Leo, or whoever else was there. You can't think he's a complete joke and embarrassment and then be upset he's not out there helping you
Yes,
more.
I can.
Look,
Rules of politics should be suspended any chance we get. It's disloyalty.
the vice president has been nothing but steadfast.
I wasn't talking about him.
Oh.
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah.
Officially.
My sister threw me a party because I got a line in the speech.
Which one?
We must help those working hardest to help themselves. And Annabeth doesn't like his name.
She's not wrong. I don't get excited when I hear EITC, do you?
I think if we could define it more clearly as a tax cut, so a vote against it is seen as raising taxes on the working poor.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't see how you easily oppose it.
Charlie.
Super smart. Leo
Yep.
helped him get there. Like
Yep.
it.
Who's
Contractor's
Army
wife.
Corp, they said, call my congressman. I called him. He said, call the State Department.
This is going to blow up.
My husband is an engineer, not a soldier.
Yeah.
No, he's a soldier.
Well, still, like
Right.
that sentiment, though, you know,
No, for sure.
playing on TV.
Yeah.
He's in the residence,
Oh, okay.
napping. Not to be disturbed unless there's an emergency.
Will you let me know when he comes back down?
My first call.
I mean, she's the chief of staff. You should.
Yeah.
Are you the one who's going to teach me proper speedway decorum?
How to win
Yeah.
friends and influence yokels, yes ma'am.
That's great.
Let's start with the dress code. Jeans, t-shirt. Oh, and can you borrow the president's leather flight jacket? Women make up 45% of the audience for NASCAR events, more than any other major league sport.
Really?
Really?
I did not know that.
It's the drivers. Well-built hotties running around in tight-fitting fire suits.
Hotties.
Hotsy-tot, hot and hot hotties, ma'am.
Oh, my.
He'll be there. And him. Oh, and this one.
That's funny.
Right, that is funny. Women watch because the men are good looking.
They're U.S. paid mercenaries, former military, most of them, special ops, SEALs, Marines.
Yeah, distinction without a difference, Land. Anyone talk to Leo?
He's in his office watching State of the Unions.
Unions?
Old ones.
Bolivia.
Yeah, Korea, things down in Burundi. There's no congressional oversight, no controls, and a whole lot of money changing hands.
You know these guys?
Not these, but
This is Blackwater was probably happening around there. Yeah.
as long as Americans are willing to pay $60 a gram for cocaine, some peasant farmer earning $60 a year is gonna grow it. And we turn their villages into war zones. We destroy their land. We poison their families with herbicides, and then we're all surprised when they go vote for the socialist.
Miss Harper, they need you in the Situation Room.
Maybe later?
Not today.
No.
Every nap I've ever taken in my life has left me feeling groggy and on edge.
I hadn't
I'm
noticed.
the same way. I love naps, but I wake up more tired.
I wake up and I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah,
The earned income tax credit needs a better name.
To brand it.
Not just something zippier or catchier.
Well, something to help you fight for
To
it.
make it harder to fight against it. Employment incentive.
Oh, no, that's terrible. Work tax.
It's all a work tax. Poverty tax.
That's closer.
Poor tax. It's simple, direct,
Poor tax.
hard to argue on the floor of Congress to institute a poor tax.
I feel like you got there on your own.
Yeah, I feel like Charlie's been kind of crushing it.
Yeah.
Heard you were watching old State of the Unions. I wrote it.
You seem remarkably uncomfortable accepting praise even for you.
What are you doing here, Leo? And we're getting buried alive here. Get up and grab a shovel. We all know what we said.
Last night's State of the Union, you pulled your punches.
It was well received.
It's easy to applaud for something that no one's going to make you stand up and pass. It's time for a comprehensive new approach to this nation's dependence on drugs.
I cut it.
Who told you to?
Nobody had to. You've had a heart attack and he can't stand up.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Day after every other State of the Union, the president launches a month-long roadshow to stump for what was in it.
So
I get his frustration. Yeah,
for sure.
There's not even there's not even a real vice president to help convince the country he's right.
They're going to have to throw a Hail Mary. I mean, like, you have to let Toby be Toby here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm being held with 7 Americans to completion of a fair and free election.
Fair and free translating to a Zelaya victory.
Where are we on this? A P3 off the Mizawa. PACCOM is coordinating the search.
Anything?
No.
And the Bolivian government?
Rock in a hard place.
We find them. Who mounts the rescue if not the Bolivians? Tarmacorp? Us?
Not us. Nobody forced them to go down there.
Well, maybe you'll get to explain that to their widows.
When's the election?
10 days. Have you ever been held?
I've held other people. 24 hours is a long time.
You're gonna have to offer big rewards for sure. That's usually how that works.
Yeah.
Getting tired of people treating me like I've sold my soul to the devil.
You think you have?
I don't think the VP is the devil. I don't know what I think of him, really.
Catalog his qualities.
The negative ones, everyone knows. Doesn't have a multi-track mind like the president, but that's not always a bad thing. I've spent the last 1.5 years looking for what you saw in him when you gave him this job.
I'm surprised he hasn't asked this before.
Yeah.
You were aware you were picking a potential successor.
The options weren't.
On some level, I've just trusted that. I know. Doesn't work like that. He's my guy. I have to figure him out on my own.
Sorry to interrupt, but you've got to see the First Lady.
Is she killing it?
I want to see this too.
There's the kiss, ceremonial victory kiss. Ooh, caught her a bit by surprise there.
To take one like that for the flyover states.
Did you brief her about the kiss?
They loved it.
Trouble in South Dakota?
In about 1,000 years, Mount Rushmore's on the move.
How far has it gone so far?
About an inch.
Some lady, some Florida congressman crafted a bill to put Trump on it now.
Oh my God.
I could have used you in the sit room today.
I heard you had it under control.
Didn't feel like it.
Never does.
I'm sorry we didn't get to talk today. We'll find time tomorrow.
Sure. It was easier for me. You as my press secretary, Sam, Josh, Toby.
Toby?
Yeah.
Toby's always been Toby.
Margaret? What's next?
That's a good line.
Yeah.
It's just checking one thing off after the next, you know?
So tonight, Abby's out of town. We could turn the residence into a fort and sword fight with empty paper towel rolls.
I would like to see that, actually.
I would too.
I set an ambitious national agenda.
Is that what you think?
You have a chance to figure out what you'd like to do around here? Don't do this, Leo, not the day after the State of the Union.
Everyone's walking around here like we're finished. What are you saving your political capital for?
I have a responsibility to the party.
You have a responsibility to the country, sir.
The American people sent you here for 2 terms. So
Still
the
got
last
one.
one's gonna be harder.
And I've never had to make a speech based on the maximum amount of time I could stand up.
Yeah.
Those excuses I kept hearing all day. Nobody mentioned MS. 272 words. That's all Lincoln said at the Gettysburg Address. It took 4 minutes and set the tone for the next century.
Yeah. No pressure on that speech.
Right.
Said the man with the double bypass.
Both of us, sir, this is our last game. Let's leave it all out on the field.
I like that.
Yeah. No elections coming up for either one of them. This is it.
You know why we got called in?
No idea.
You want to hear something depressing? This disrupts my evening not one bit.
The president should be down in a minute.
Everybody here?
Yes, sir.
Follow me.
Are they going to the Leo meeting now?
Maybe.
I had dinner with an old friend tonight. I thought everyone should hear what he had to say.
What'd you spend it on?
Bolivia.
Well, no, you spent it on a situation in Bolivia, a crisis. North Korea pokes a hole in the fence, it gets your attention. Pretty soon, it's the whole day. Problem is, we're running out of them. That's how much time we have left. What do you want to do with them?
I love that. It's amazing.
We should finally get serious about health care. Whether it calls attention to the president's MS or not.
A real commitment to drug treatment.
What else?
The vice president and I think it's time to talk about race in this country.
Urban development.
Assault weapons ban.
Affordable housing.
HR 190 is going to shift the debate back to segregation.
He was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Nice. It's nice to have Leo kind of come back in as like a guiding force. Like, okay, everybody.
Yeah, they found his purpose in the show again, and I love that so much.
Right.
He's not just the visitor.
Yeah. If every day is just putting out fires, then nothing.
What's the rest of the
year?
Then
nothing else gets done except putting out fires.
It's not the senioritis, if you will. It's time to grind. It's time to get to work. You know. And like you said in the beginning, I like that it's not. We're not covering both the campaign and the White House in the same episode. We're going to get episodes where we're probably not even the West Wing at all.
Sure.
We didn't get Josh or Santos at all this episode.
I bet in season 7, as we get closer, it probably bounces around a little bit more. But in season 6, yeah, you can spend an entire episode in the White House, an entire episode with Santos, and hopefully an entire episode with Alan Alda. Yeah, absolutely. Because I want those. I selfishly want some Alan Alda on the show.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
And it was a slow-paced episode that was completely enjoyable because we miss Leo, maybe that's what it is.
It was really nice to have a Leo-centric episode when I thought we were never going to have another one.
Me too. Obviously, John Spencer's health declined, and I'm glad that he still has it in him for this. You know?
I do too.
I really enjoyed the sentiment of the episode. I like that everybody got to say their grievances, and I like that he got to get them all back together. Like I said, I wish Josh was there, but it was really nice having Will in that room too.
It really was,
and it was completely. There was no contention. Nobody was angry or arguing because we see Will and Toby fight all the time. It was just like, what are we gonna do in our last year here?
Yeah, it was the first time that we finally got Will to be a little bit reflective over who Bob Russell is.
That was a great scene.
He's always been like he's the presumptive leader of the party.
Yep.
Therefore, I'm gonna do what I can to keep the party in power in the next election. There's
to be
nothing
honest.
wrong with that.
Not at all.
That's what politicians do. How do we keep the party in power through the next election?
Yeah.
How do we keep from losing? How do we grow the party or regain power? Every election cycle, that's a thing.
Yeah.
But this was the first time Will's like, why did you pick this guy? Because he's, because he's like, this is the first time Will might be acknowledging he's not the right guy.
And he even said, I thought I would find it along the way what you found in your guy. And that's important. It is very important.
I like the fact that Leo didn't answer his question. I'm like, you figure out why you're along for him. It's got to come. It's got to be innate within you of why you think this guy should be president, why you want to help him win.
And he didn't answer any questions this episode.
He didn't.
He was the guiding force, like you said.
If he's not there to put out the fires, I think everyone was going to him like, Leo, help me put out the fire, and he's like, you got it. The fire stuff you guys can do. I'm here for something else.
He's like Obi-Wan now.
Yeah, right.
He kind of is, man.
Appreciate it, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
See ya.